Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to another Q8 pilot stream. It is 1700 Zulu, 2000 hours local time. Want to welcome all of you guys in chat. Rand, Cooley, Dougal, McTavish, Strashal, Mac, welcome aboard. Glad to have you guys here. Renan D. Oliveira, welcome aboard. Fly Bright from the US of A, welcome aboard. Hello, Doug from Montana. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. And ladies and gents, Boeing Corp Mike, welcome aboard. Thank you very much for being here, Boeing Corp Mike from Logan, New Jersey. We have Stefanos with us as well from Belgium. Welcome aboard. And Nick, welcome aboard. Nick from Toronto, Canada. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you guys here. And today, ladies and gents, based on popular demand, we are going to be flying the Airbus A400M by iniBuilds for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. It's been a while since we've been in the sim, and today we are going to be taking this rather beast of an aircraft for a short hop from our current location in Cali, Colombia to there we go. We are heading over today to we are in the Ecuador, and we're heading over to Cali, Colombia. We are at Marsical Sucre International in Quito, Ecuador, and heading to Alfonso Bonella Aragon International in Cali, Colombia. A place I haven't flown before, so it should be a nice flight over the mountains in Southern America. And hello, Dougal. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us this evening. Hello, Guy. Good evening to you from the United Kingdom. Welcome, guys. All right. So what we're going to be doing during this flight is I'm going to be, showcasing the aircraft. Obviously, this aircraft comes with this edition of Microsoft Flight Sim, and it does look really, really good. The visuals are just simply amazing, both inside and out, as you can see. And if we hop real quick here in the cockpit, again, a very nicely modeled 3D cockpit, very realistic looking cockpit here. But there are a few things I have to kind of let you guys know about this this rendition of the aircraft. So we're going to be starting it up, and then we're going to be taking for a flight, and I'll give you my comments on it. And we're going to be doing this for just about all the aircraft, excuse me, in Microsoft Flight Sim in this series. This is going to be the very first episode of the series where we take a look at Microsoft Flight Sim aircraft, and of course take a look at the sim as well. So without further ado, let's get started. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come here to the electronic flight bag, and we're going to bring all the flight details from SimBrief. I love the integration that iniBuilds builds with their aircraft in the electronic flight bag. Very seamless integration with SimBrief. Dr. Doom, good afternoon to you, my friend. So we have the flight plan details here. Let's go to the ground, and let's see, we have the GPU and the chocks currently set. And let's go ahead and get our, there we go. We have our weights. So we have the zero fuel weight and the fuel for the flight. Let's go ahead and say apply load. And we have all our details here, the load sheet, the planned weight for the flight, as well as the fuel weight. We have the zero fuel center of gravity, as well as the pitch trim set up for us here, so we can simply copy that into the MCDU once we're ready. All right, let's go over to the overhead panel here and get things started. Again, this is an Airbus, so a lot of similarity between the Airbus and the and this aircraft. A lot of the systems are similar, but it's got a lot more, so it does take a little bit of getting used to. But overall, very, very cool aircraft in terms of how it looks. Okay, external power is on, battery 1, battery 2, and the ESS butt battery is all turned on. We're going to come over here and turn on the ADDONS. So the adheres in this aircraft is not a knob, which we normally get up here somewhere. They are just buttons here. And APU test. We'll make sure everything's good here. And engine fire test is all good. We're going to come down here, turn on our nav lights. And the emergency lights are armed. Fasten seatbelt signs to on. And we'll move up here and turn on our fuel pumps, since the aircraft has already been refueled. All right, perfect. You can see the aircraft systems are coming up, and you'll see that the flight management computer is very similar to that of the A380 and the A350. In fact, I think it is the same. So we're going to go ahead and say init request here, and now we have our flight details, flight number 4 Alpha Mike 2, and we are departing Sierra Echo Quebec Mike to Sierra Kilo Charlie Lima. All right, so everything here is good. Flight level is 250 for this flight, and we're going to go to the departure. Let's go to the departure and select our departing runway. So we're going to be departing runway 36 today, and the SID is the ANBAL 3. ANBAL 3, that's the first one. The transition is the none. So it's the ANBAL transition. Let's go here. All right, we have it there, so that's good. And we're going to insert that. And while we're at it, we're going to go to the destination, and we're going to select the arrival as well. So the arrival runway is runway 02. The approach is the ILS Yankee 02 via the Lomim transition, and the star is the Anka 3 Alpha, which is this first one here. No transition there. Insert, and let's go ahead and clear the discontinuity here. We have from Anbal to Ancas. So that is probably, I think there is a restriction there, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so everything is good here. Let's go ahead and move on to the fuel and load. And from the fuel and load, we need our zero fuel weight. So the zero fuel weight, folks, is going to be 90.5. So we'll say 90.5 and enter. Unfortunately, the keyboard doesn't work with the aircraft, so you have to use the pad to enter the information. Just if you're wanting. Saad Al Hanadi, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here with us this evening. Right, the block fuel is. Let's take a look here. The fuel is going to be 110. So 110 for the block fuel. And so I'm just going to say 110 right there. Sorry, that's 11.1. There we go. 11.1 tons of fuel. And you'll see that it will automatically set the route reserve and the percentage in just a second here. Let's clear that, clear that, clear that. All right, so we've cleared everything here. Still has it, but we need the zero fuel center of gravity, which is 25.2. All right, so 25.2. There we go, and now it should start calculating all the information. As you can see here, everything is set, and we're good. Next, we're going to go to the perf. Now, the nice thing is that it's got a takeoff performance computation. So if you click here, it will calculate everything for you. Click again, and it will insert all the information for you. We can use uprated or toga. We're just going to go ahead and use toga today, and flaps 1 for the departure. Everything else is pretty much set. So let's set this on the flight plan. We'll set this on perf. And let's click here once. All right. So now we can see all the altitudes are set here automatically along with the speed. And if we just scroll down a little bit, we'll see that we do have some restrictions at 10,000 feet, as you can see. So there are a few constraints as along our route to to Colombia this afternoon or evening or morning, depending on where you are in the world. All right, we have the alignment complete, and we can now put this away, and let's go ahead and start the APU. APU master is on, and again, very Airbus stuff here. Flap is moving. That's the APU flap, and once it's open, then we'll be able to start the APU. Let's see here. All right, there we go. APU is starting. Now, the aircraft from the visual perspective, I think is very, very well done by iniBuilds. Those props look just amazing. They look gorgeous. I mean, just look at that. Very, very nice indeed. Now, the only problem I have with this aircraft, there are actually a couple of things worthwhile mentioning. Let me set this to 25. So the first problem is when you choose a direct to from the MCDU, it freezes your MCDU and you'll not be able to use it. So beware of that. Never use the direct to. It doesn't work. It just freezes things up and renders the aircraft unusable. So just be aware of that. The second problem I have with this aircraft, which is, I think, major, it flies like a paper. So when you make the turns, it feels like one of those really small, small planes, you know, overpowered small planes. It just is very, very sensitive. And a plane that is of this size and weight that carries very heavy cargo does not fly like that. And you'll be able to see this, especially during takeoff and landing. You'll be able to see that. All right, the APU is available. APU bleed is on. And let's see here. B52. Hey, Casey, how are you doing, my friend? Love the sounds of these bad boys. Overhead, yeah, they are quite nice. All right, so we have everything here ready. And we are ready to actually push back. Now, thankfully, GSX finally works properly. So we're going to put the beacon on the upper. And let's turn it to the right. Let's see here. We don't need anything here. We're going to come down to the ground. And we're going to dismiss the chocks and toggle the GPU. And now the GPU is removed. And we are now ready to push and start. So not very difficult to get the aircraft up and running. Again, if you are familiar with the Airbus philosophy, it should be fairly straightforward to start this aircraft from cold and dark. Okay, let's go to GSX, and we're going to say prepare for pushback and departure. We're going to use whatever GSX tells us, and now we can wait for the ground crew to let us know that they're ready. Now, one of the things I do like a lot about this aircraft is just about everything here is simulated. So if you go to the bleed, you'll see the bleed here. If you go to the engines, you'll see the engines. So all of these, you know, here's the door page.
We are ready for pushback.
All right, they are ready for pushback. Let's see, where are they? There he is. All right. So I couldn't find a GSX profile for the aircraft, so the guy here goes to a strange place behind the aircraft, but the pushback works okay. We're departing runway 36, which is right over there, so we're going to push nose to the left, tail to the right.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
All right, just look at this aircraft, guys. It just looks beautiful. All right, so let's come over here. And, my throttles are not in the right. Let me set them here. They're all on reverse. All right, so that should be it. All right, perfect.
Looking here.
Hello there, Krister. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us this evening. All right. All right, aircraft is being lifted. All right, we're going to push nose to the left, tail to the right.
Release parking brakes.
All right, parking brake released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
All right, and we have clearance to start the engine. So we're going to come here and we're going to select the ignition to ignition start. And we're going to start with the engine number 4. We'll take it to feather. And here is, you can see engine number 4 is now starting. Very nice animation of the props. I do like that. I think they've done a really good job with that. And we have 20%, so we can go ahead and start engine number 4. There you go. Engine number 4 is coming up. Maybe a little abrupt, but I do like the animation. Watching in a living room sofa. How cool. Enjoy, my friend. All right. And let's go ahead and start. It doesn't really matter. I think we'll go ahead and start engine number 1. There we go. It really, Microsoft Flight Sim, by the way, has really improved in terms of the performance. I really am enjoying it quite a bit. But today I've tried something in X-Plane that made me it made my jaw drop, which is the new physics camera. I'll be making a video on that very soon. But it was just wow. All right, here we go.
Set parking brakes.
All right, parking brake is set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
All right, we can confirm engine starts here just before. That's fine. Just so that we don't waste too much time.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start.
All right, let's go ahead and start engines 2 and 3. We'll put them both on feather. And here you guys can take a look. What a beast of an aircraft, isn't it? All right, and we'll start engines 2 and 3. All right, perfect. Oh yeah, the physics camera is amazing. Feels like a GoPro in a real life video. Yes. Now, we'll talk a little bit about that maybe in the upcoming video. So let me clear that here, clear that, takeoff uplink, all of that is good. All right, so the ground spoilers are located here. So let me just zoom in so you guys can take a seat. All right, ground spoilers are now armed. We're going to set flaps 1 for departure. Flaps 1 are now set. Auto brake is set right here, so we're going to click that for RTO. And then we'll wait for the flaps to set for flaps 1. There we go. Flaps 1 are set. And takeoff config is located down here, so we click that. And we have everything. There are no blues. We're ready for takeoff. The one thing that we need to set is our nose trim. I think it was let's take a look here. 1.5 up. So let me set that here real quick. 1.5 up. There we go. 1.5 up is now set. And everything is configured for takeoff. Let's turn on our taxi lights. And we can turn off the engine start switch back to normal. APU bleed off. APU master is off. And we are ready to taxi. So quite simple to get the aircraft going. And let's go ahead and set this again to... All right, so we have our transponder set as well. And we can also turn on our weather radar. That's not what I wanted to do. Where's our weather radar? It's right there. Okay. There we go. Weather radar is on, and we are all set. Okay, let's taxi to the runway, and parking brake is released, and off we go. Now the aircraft, just without any power applied, will start moving. So we'll just leave it. We'll add just maybe a little bit of power. There we go. And let's switch to the outside view. Look at this aircraft, guys. Wow. I mean, it does look very, very nice. What do you guys think? Pretty snazzy aircraft, isn't it? HD Sim, welcome aboard. Yes, this aircraft, I believe, is only for 2024. Right, we'll continue on the taxiway there for runway 36, our departure runway. Overall, very nice visuals in this aircraft. It looks really, really good, both inside and out. It's got, by the way, a heads-up display as well that works. And if we zoom in here, maybe it's not very clear, but you can see it's got all the information that you need. I don't normally like the heads-up display, so I'll do without it. But it is there if you like to use it. We can also go here to nav and add the constraints to our flight plan. And we can go to the background terrain, radar, and TCAS. None of them actually display anything here, but they are modeled. But yeah, unfortunately, you don't see anything on the display. So they're just there, I think, for completeness sake, nothing else. All right, so here is, we can taxi here. And we'll taxi to runway 36. So we'll take Alpha 1, taxiway Alpha 1. And then just taxi all the way to the end for the runway 36, our departing runway. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with the state of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. The performance is much better when compared to release date. The servers, the availability of the servers are all up and running now. Still, the streaming of the data is not something that I particularly am crazy about or a fan of, but I have to say that a lot of the issues that we've encountered in the beginning have subsided now. They've been fixed. And so, yeah, there is definitely a very professional and capable team behind this sim that works around the clock to ensure availability and uptime, and of course, fix issues. So, all right, so we are near the hold short point for runway 36. Let's go ahead and turn on our landing lights. Runway turn off lights, strobe lights are on, and we're going to put the beacon on both. All right, here we go. All right. We are ready to go. We hold the brakes. Now let me figure out my 4 throttles here. Yeah, they're not set. V1, rotate. And positive rate of climb. Gears going up. How about that? I mean, I have to say, it looks really, really cool. All right. Let me go to the auto throttle here. Let's see. Auto throttle limited. The reason being is this. So we need to set those properly. And now we can go autopilot 1. I've tried calibrating the throttles before the flight, but looks like they're still off. Right, so here we go. We change the range here a little bit so we can see what's going on. We can retract the flaps, flaps 1, and we can disarm the ground spoilers. Are disarmed. And we continue the climb now to 25,000 feet. It is a stunning, very nice looking bird. The flight model, though, is really bad. Really, really bad. That is a spectacular view here as we climb through the clouds and the mountains. Let's switch here to the outside. There is MSFS 2024 for you guys. Wow. This is a really, really very nice looking scene right there. All right. 18,000 is the barrow, so we'll set standard. We need to turn off the landing lights, taxi lights, runway turn off lights, and we'll put the seatbelt signs on auto. And everything here is looking good. Perfect. Eye candy, yes sir. At its best, I have to add. Yeah, definitely the physics is like a toy. Yes, perfect combination. That is exactly why my comment on this aircraft. This aircraft is supposed to be very heavy, and unfortunately, it flies just like a Cessna, or you know, the flight model is definitely broken in on this aircraft. So, like many, by the way, of the aircraft in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. There is a ton of aircraft, but unfortunately not many of them are well made in terms of the flight model. And it's not the limitation of the sim. I think they're just not well made. They're just made for, you know, kind of, you know, the eye candy, and to kind of tick the box. Yeah, we've got this aircraft, we've got that aircraft, but this is not an aircraft that I would fly normally, you know, for enjoyment, for my personal enjoyment. But I know you guys wanted to see it, so yeah, I did a couple of flights just to kind of learn it, and yeah, I found it to be relatively easy to learn. But the flight model is definitely broken. Such a shame about the flight model, as they nailed the rest. Yes, Dougal, I would have to agree with you there fully. They have nailed everything else. It looks just amazing. By the way, you can go to, let me here go very quickly to the back. So if we click here, you can open this door, and then we're going to come down here. And here is your cargo hull. Look at that. There. So you can actually have a cargo hull. You can't really put anything in it, but here we can take a look at the engines here, which is a nice view. Look at that. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? All right. And back in the cockpit, we are just about 3,000 from our cruise altitude. There are a few things I'll show you once we are on the ground. By the way, folks, in Microsoft Flight Sim, if you are not using the legacy keyboard, then you need to let me switch to Shift X. Okay, so this is the drone camera in Microsoft Flight Sim, and you can use ADDSW to pan like we did, or you could go to, if you want to look like this movement with the mouse, if you want to look, you know, kind of 360-degree view, then you need the letters, hold on, not this one. So K and I will take you upward and downward, and you can use J and L to look the other way here, 360-degree view here. You can use the J and L, K and I for that in drone mode, which is activated through Shift and X. Shift and X, again, will bring you back in the cockpit. You can always go back to the legacy keyboard, but if you want to use the new assignment, that's how you do it in Microsoft Flight Sim. So I think you can open the door in flight. Probably, Ryan. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we can look here out the window, and you can see things are looking pretty nice now. I still like the texturing in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 more. I think it looks better, slightly. But this one looks nice now, and they are less saturated than 2020. 2020 looks like it's made for cinematics. This one is a little more believable. In terms of the coloring of the world, the texturing overall looks much better in 2024. All right, so everything here is good. We are at 25,000 feet. Let's go ahead and set up for our arrival, because this is a very short flight. So we're going to go to Perf, and then we're going to go to Approach. We'll bring up Navigraph charts. We're going to click on our destination, which is Cali, Colombia, and we're going to click on the weather. Let me bring this here so you guys can see. All right, so there we go. Let me bring Navigraph chart there. Okay, perfect. So the winds are 175. Again, one thing I don't like is you always have to use the keypad here to enter the information. And 5 speed is the wind speed. Enter that. And then the outside temperature is 29 Celsius, a bit warm. Right, that's 29 Celsius. And the QNH is 1015. 1015. And we're going to enter that. And finally, we need the baro. So let's go to the minimum. So we're going to go to the charts, approach, the ILS Yankee is the one we've selected. So this is the ILS Yankee, and let's see here, 218. 218, and enter. All right, perfect. We have everything set up here, and we are ready. The top of descent is going to be in 127 nautical miles, so we're not too far. I've elected to descend earlier in my test flight, simply because based on my calculations, I was going to be off. So yeah. Overall, pretty cool aircraft. How fast is your internet connection? My internet connection is 100 megabytes per second upload and download. So both are hundreds. And here is a nice view from the outside for you guys to enjoy those lovely clouds. I mean, this is looking really good. Wow. One of the things in Microsoft Flight Sim is the strobe lights are very difficult to see. And normally the strobe lights are quite bright. Yeah, so here I think you can see the mountains there. I love how the clouds, the meshing of the clouds there over the mountains look very, very good. Overall, the sim is starting to look really nice, with a lot less issues than what we started with. Hello there, Carl. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. Thanks for being here. Watching a Q8 pilot stream on a Saturday evening is heavily underrated. One of the best flight sim streamers, period. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate your comment there. Some of South America looks great in 2024. Yes, I agree there, Dougal. Looks really, really good. Thank you very much, again, guys, for your support. Interestingly enough, reading through one of the comments, so on the Fearless 747 stream, if you guys recall, I said that the Fearless 747 is not a study level aircraft, and I still maintain that position, that it is a very complex and advanced aircraft and a very authentic simulation of the 747, but it is not study level. To me, study level is something that includes all your circuit breakers, it includes failures, and you can activate any kind of a failure scenario. Those aircraft are called study level. Of course, with the complexity that the Fearless brings. So it is definitely a very complex aircraft, and it requires a huge learning curve to learn. But is it study level? Not quite. Not quite. I've been actually hearing some very interesting comments in the comment section from, a lot of the channel, followers, I suppose. And I pay special attention to those that give me constructive critique, because that's how I improve, and that's how I improve the content that I bring to you guys. All right, so 25,000, we will begin the descent in about 100 nautical miles. Very short flight, but enough for you guys to kind of take a look at this aircraft. Look at this overhead panel. Very, very nice. By the way, on this aircraft, if you wanted to open the cargo, maybe we'll do it once we are on the ground. We'll open the cargo doors, especially the one on the back. We'll open it, but in order to open it, you need hydraulic pressure. So one of the things that kind of caught my eye, I was fiddling around with it, and it wouldn't open. And I was wondering why, and then I realized that when the aircraft is on the ground, the hydraulic system is off before you start your engines. And in order to turn on the hydraulics, you need to come all the way here. Let me see if I can go all the way through. All right, so the cargo doors on this aircraft are on the blue hydraulic. So you need to open or turn on the blue electrical pump. This is ground. You see this says ground hydraulics, so no ground hydraulics while on the ground. So you need to turn that on to be able to open the cargo doors. And the nice thing is that this is actually simulated in this aircraft. And I was just really taken by surprise that this level of detail exists in an aircraft that comes by default with Microsoft Flight Sim, but the flight model is so bad that it just really puts me off flying the aircraft. So hopefully our next flight, I might pick one of the, maybe number 2 from the community poll. I believe it was the A320neo, again by iniBuilds, or perhaps we'll do the A300. Excuse me, the A300 premium You guys let me know which one you like. Maybe I'll do a poll for that, and I'll figure out what you guys like to see next. But yeah, I plan on doing a number of Microsoft Flight Sim videos and streams as well. I think we've covered, but of course, very, very soon, maybe in a couple of days, expect something on the physics-based camera in X-Plane 12.1.4, which is just amazing. I mean, I was flying today. The graphical assets have been improved. A few more airports have been improved, and it's starting to look really, really good. A300 is nice. All right, cool. Maybe we'll do the A300. And here is the beast for you guys. It really is a beast of an aircraft. Look at that. Look at how beautiful it is. Did you get the Cows DA? That's a nice one. Flew it earlier. Yes, I do have it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Here you can see again some blurred textures there. So, yeah, you still get those not in the immediate area. I mean, it's okay. Doesn't really look all that great. I hate the blurry textures in Microsoft Flight Sim. And, yeah, we should be able to get better, you know, better textures. But, yeah, I've noticed the higher I am from the ground, you know, the more of blurry textures I encounter, especially far in the distance. And sometimes it looks worse from the outside as opposed to the inside of the aircraft. So again, not optimal. Blurry textures will always mean, you know, immersion breaker. But yeah, this looks more believable than the ones in... Yes, it is more believable than 2020. That is for sure. Yes. Okay, so here is the top of descent. I'm going to begin the descent now, folks. And the platform altitude is 6,000 feet, I believe. So let's take a quick look here. Yes, it's 6,000 through the aluminum fix before we arrive into the center fix for the runway. So we're going to turn on the landing system here, and we'll do it on the first officer's side as well. Landing system is now turned on, and we can now begin the descent. So we're going to come here, and we're going to do nav descent. There we go. And we'll just descend slow and nice towards Colombia, Cali. And we're going to be performing, of course, an eyeless approach. These clouds look more believable than the ones in MSFS 2020. Yeah. So I'm glad that GSX is finally working properly now without causing any stutters in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. And by the way, for those of you who haven't been on earlier streams, I have completely removed Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 from my machine to make more space for 2024 and all the add-ons. It is, I think, in a state where, yeah, I mean, I don't want to fly 2020 anymore. I just really never liked the oversaturated colors, and so I find this one to be a lot more believable, if you will, flying in 2024. So it's gone, and this explains why I haven't been flying the PMDGs of the world. And I'm glad Phoenix is one of the early adopters of the sim, and we've had them have a beta version which was highly experimental, but works very well from the early days of the release of the new sim. So those clouds are looking really, really nice. I mean, look at that. I mean, this looks really nice, I have to say. Frames are very good. Overall, the sim is very stable now. Fingers crossed nothing happens. I just got my FS 2020 set up again. Deleted it when FS 2024 came out. But unfortunately, I just can't run it on this PC. So back to 2020. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Dougal. I appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone who supports the channel, hits the like button. It does, by the way, help the channel a lot. So let me show you guys here very quickly. All right, so here you can see how the mountains look beautiful and the textures look absolutely gorgeous here. But if you look far in the distance there, you can see that they are a bit blurred. So in the area where the aircraft flies, you can see this looks just gorgeous. Look at that. Looks just absolutely sensational. Very, very nice. The clouds are beautiful. The plane is beautiful. Doesn't fly very well, but it's still beautiful. There we go. All right. Still looking good. There is a restriction at 10,000 feet, as you can see here. I got the same in X-Plane with Auto Ortho. Yes, Auto Ortho is a great addition to X-Plane 12. It works very, very well, and thanks to our very good friend Drashal for having you know, tutorials on how to do it. I did it, by the way, Drashal, a bit slightly. I did it a little slightly differently from what you've done, but it works essentially the same. But yeah, Auto Ortho is pretty cool. Is very, very good. Yes, thank you, Drashal, for that. That tip actually really helped quite a bit. It doesn't really change the quality, is what I've noticed, but it does help for the textures appear to be sharper. Is there any information if they are gonna open up the add-ons in 2020 so they can get modded? Or, well, I believe that 2020 is pretty much going to become abandonware, so I don't think any further development will be done on 2020. I don't know what their plans are. Are they going to leave it there? I really don't know. What did you do different, out of interest? So just on the last steps, when you start the sim, you know how the entries are added into the packs.ini, and when you turn off the if you close the sim before closing the Auto Ortho applications, it will remove all the entries from your scenery packs.ini. So I just wrote a little script that makes sure that those are not removed. So so that's, I mean, something. I mean, it's very different. It's got nothing to do with your tutorial. I mean, it's not different from your tutorial. It's just that I've had extra steps just so that I don't lose them, because I tend to always forget and close the application before the sim, and then you lose the entries in your scenery packs.ini. So yeah, I have no information on 2020 or what they're going to do. Again, here you can see sometimes blurred textures. The minute you look at it, it loads properly. But again, you can see here some of the, you know, not very sharp, but still looks good. Still looks good. Those clouds are looking really, really nice. All right, we're approaching 18,000. So we are gonna go to Where is it? Here. There we go. We'll set the barrow. There we go. And we continue the descent. This is a really dramatic scene, guys. Look at this. Just beautiful. Wow. Look at that. That's correct, Rochelle. Yes. Is to use the quit button in auto ortho after closing X-plane. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I just wrote a little script that makes sure that they are there. They are never removed. They're always there. So I don't have to worry about the sequence of closing, auto ortho versus the sim. Tell you guys, this is looking absolutely gorgeous. I mean, this looks like real life. Looks as if it's a real aircraft flying in the skies with the beautiful cloud scattering and the color of the skies, the mountains. Visually, this looks very realistic, I have to say. Minus the toolbar thing here. You can see the towering clouds in the distance there. And I've changed, by the way, a couple of settings. So I've turned off all the air traffic and the airport traffic, the aircraft traffic, basically. Both parked and air traffic, I turned those off. I just don't like to see those, funny looking liveries over at airports, so I've turned them off. My problem is North America. I don't have AutoGen on top of Auto Ortho. How come? That sounds like your INI is incorrect. Feel DDM. Yeah, please, guys, if you have any issues with Auto Ortho, Drashal is your guy. He is an expert in Auto Ortho. He's gotten a couple of tutorials. One is an article on the X-Plane.org, and another one is a video on his YouTube channel. Drashal, please feel free to put a link to your channel in chat for folks to refer back to your channel if they need help with Auto Ortho. And you're more than welcome to post the link to that specific tutorial as well. Right, let's do this here. Range change. By the way, if you want to change this to plan, you can click here, and that will change the mode. You can see now we have the profile, and this is now in plan mode. So this little, the outer knob, when you click it, it changes. And so here is again your ILS, and clicking it again. I think that was VOR, and this one is the ILS. And then if we go back, changing the mode here back to this is plan mode, and finally to the map mode, which is the mode we're flying in. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about the operation of this aircraft. All right, we're looking good here, and we are approaching 10,000 feet. There is a restriction at 10,000 feet. So let's come down here, and we are going to arm the ground spoilers. And we're going to also set the auto brake to medium. And we'll continue the approach. We are at 14,000 for 6,000. We're looking good. We're going to go through some clouds here. And things are looking pretty cool. Ortho should partner with X-Plane so that it can be native to compete with MSFS. That's actually not a bad suggestion, Boeing Corp Mike. Yeah. As a matter of fact, you'll see that there are a lot of things that developers do that would be great to have them out of the box with these simulators. And we've seen that Microsoft or Asobo has partnered with, they've actually done this. They've heeded the advice of many in the community. So they've taken FCR, which is Flight Control Replay, It was a standalone application or add-on for a camera system, and they've integrated it into MSFS 2024 right there, FCR. Unfortunately, still it needs a lot of work in my view. Not all of the aircraft work with it. And sometimes if you minimize it, then you cannot maximize it again. So it's got its issues still. But yeah, it's great to see developers working together and taking something that is, you know, great as stands, and integrating it into the sim. So hopefully, X-Plane will bring that, you know, that spin to. But it still works good. I mean, even without the auto ortho, without realistic photo textures, I still really enjoy X-Plane a lot. I think it is just a great flight sim. They did hire Mr. X. That's correct, yes. So they hired Mr. X for the scenery. They've hired Daniela for the sounds. Daniela is very known for creating excellent sound packs for the Airbus aircraft. And I don't know if you guys, how much you know about the 777 by Flight Factor, but the sound pack used is the COSP from the COSP guy. The guy who developed the COSP project for the Airbus by Tolis, for the Tolis aircraft. So it is actually it's the same guy who developed the COSP sound packs for the Tolis aircraft is the one that actually did it for the 777. Again, here we can see the trees. Something that I really like in Microsoft Flight Sim is since this is satellite data, so this I assume is accurate representation, but it does look very good, I have to say. All right, hopefully we don't have any terrain radar, unfortunately, with the aircraft, though I have turned it on, but it's not, looks like it's, you know, I can see the restrictions there, so the aircraft will probably stay at 10,000 until we pass this point here, and we are now going through the clouds. So I don't think icing conditions are simulated on this aircraft, but yeah, we're going through the clouds now with no problems. All right. Maybe I'm hearing some rain. I mean, I don't know. Yes, COSP did a fantastic job on those projects. He is working on the Flight Factor 7872. That's great to hear. I have read both MSFS 2024 and XR contemplating to use Real Engine for graphics rendering. Have you heard anything more about this? Krister, I did not hear anything about that. I did hear... let me turn on the lights here. All right, so, and the fasten seatbelt signs. All right, so what I've heard is that P3D was actually looking at Real Engine. And Real Engine is just amazing. I mean, it's amazing what you can do with Real Engine. I've watched a lot of the previews of the latest version of Unreal Engine. And it would be very interesting to see a flight sim developed with Unreal Engine. And I would say this, Microsoft Flight Sim and Asobo are probably closer to being able to use Unreal Engine as opposed to Laminar because of the way X-Plane is coded. I don't think it is very easy to migrate to Unreal Engine. Again, the code is very old, and I just honestly don't think that they can go that route, even if they wanted to, unless they want to, you know, build something from the scratch up, and that would take years to develop. So while I would love to see it for X-Plane, I don't think it's going to happen. Microsoft Flight Sim is probably a better candidate for Unreal Engine because obviously it's more modern sim. It's quite recent, and maybe they can, use Unreal Engine. I really don't know. But have I heard anything? The only thing I've heard was P3D. But then it was, there comes the disaster of P3D version. I don't know what was the last version, 5? I think 5 was the last version, and it came out and it was a huge disappointment to everyone in the flight sim community. Again, here's a look at this absolutely beautiful looking scene. Look at those clouds, ladies and gents, as we arrive into Cali, Colombia in this Airbus A400M. This is looking gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah, this is a problem Austin will have for the future. I saw X-Plane 11 as the last version of X-Plane engine. X-Plane 12 is starting to look majorly dated, especially with the light box updates. Yeah, it is a dated sim, without a doubt. The engine behind X-Plane is definitely dated. So, yeah. All right. So we are at 10,000 feet, ladies and gents, and we are pretty much, we are flying over Colombia now, so we're pretty close to our destination. We're almost there. As you can see, let me go ahead and change the range here. All right, so here's 10,000. And you can actually change the speed if you want it. So here you can see that we are going between 260 and then it goes back to 250, 260 and 250. So what you can do is you can come here and say 250, enter. And that should keep the speed at 250. All right, let me go take this back to flight plan. And then it will follow the rest of the speeds there. Okay. Still at 10,000 feet, there is a restriction here, and once we pass at Mukex, we'll be able to start the descent again towards Cali. And just remember that the platform altitude, the elevation is quite high at this airport. So the platform altitude to intercept the localizer is 6,000 feet. What will be the biggest point for marketability is what's coming in the base. MSFS has the eye candy, but also the iniBuilds stuff by default more than makes up the base sim price. Well, Tazzy, I think they do have some really nice aircraft, but this one is definitely not one of the aircraft that counts towards what makes it for marketing. Yeah, it's a good marketing pitch, but the flight model of this aircraft is just horrendous. Look at those clouds; they look absolutely stunning. Yeah, very nice arrival into Cali. Hello, DB Vetter. Welcome aboard. Laminar rewrote its graphics engine in Vulkan. Yes, they did. They did. And that explains all the good, all the performance gains that we've gotten. All right. We can see that we are beginning the descent now. We're out of the restriction, 10,000 feet restriction. We can see the speed also going down. And we are getting pretty close now to our destination. Right, looking good. This is a really beautiful scene here as we arrive into Cali. I really like those clouds. They look very, very good, I have to say. The volumetric clouds in this sim when flying between layers is second to none in my opinion, and I have to agree there with you, Dougal. They look just amazing. Just really sensational. Look at that. Wow. Look at that, guys. Screenshot material right there. Wow. Alrighty. So here we are, alt restriction. We can go now approach. Alright. We can see the localizer and glide slope needles. And we're going to come down here and we're going to go to perf. And maybe we should activate the approach. Yeah, let me go ahead and activate the approach. Confirm. There we go. Alrighty. Here we are, beginning the turn. We've captured the localizer. Speed is coming down. Let me reset my view. There we go. Excellent. We are on the glide slope and the localizer. And I believe we can go to... We have to wait until the green dot, but I think we can go ahead and lower the flaps 1 degree. It will help us with the speed as well. So speed check, flaps 1. Oh, this is beautiful. All right, glide slope, and let's go ahead and lower the landing gear. Landing gear coming down. Check it out. Those clouds are just amazing. All right. Speed check and flaps 2. Looking good. Visibility isn't that great, obviously. You have to get to admire the volumetric lights. All right, speed check, flaps 3. Alerts are off. Speed check, flaps 4. Wow, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a rough landing. Let's see what happens. We didn't have that much of wind based on the weather information we got. All right, and speed check, flaps full. We still don't have a visual on the runway. Right, we can see the ground, I think. Yeah. bad weather makes for better, you know, better landings, at least from your perspective, guys. Is this SU1? That is the latest version of Microsoft Flight Sim. The minimums are correct, yes. Looking good, and I think I have a visual on the runway now. We are at 2,000 feet. Right, landing checklist, seatbelt signs are on, landing gear is down, flaps, landing flaps, ground spoilers are armed, and no blues checklist is complete, and we're cleared to land. A little bit of wobbling there with the aircraft as we approach Cali. That's what the Barrow said, yes. And the approach plate. Right, we have the runway in sight. It is more than likely going to be a rough landing, just looking at how the aircraft wobbles now. Right, 1,000 and autopilot off.
Seat rate.
Wow. Yeah, this again, here's how, this is what I'm talking about, guys. The flight model is just really, really bad on this aircraft, which is really a shame because it just looks so nice.
Seat rate.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, retard.
Ladies and gents, welcome to Cali, Colombia. Not the best of landings, but I'll take it considering, you know, the just the flight model of this aircraft is just way, way off. Thank you very much, Boeing Corp, Mark. Glad you liked the landing, though I feel I could have done better. There we go, landing lights off, strobe lights off, and runway turn-off lights are off. And we can retract the flaps. There we go. And let's go and start the APU. Thank you, Alex. Ground spoilers disarmed. is nimble, as someone pointed out above. It is designed that way. Well, I don't think it in real life it flies that way. I mean, this aircraft flies like a paper. It flies like a Cessna, and I don't think that that's how it breaks are hot. I don't think in real life a plane of this size and weight flies like that. As if it's an F-18, you know, that's what it reminds me of. It's like, yeah. All right, well, there was an interview with the developer about it, Kuwait. Was there, Ryan? I'll be very interested to know what they've said. That is what they said. So what did they have to say? They said that it flies like this, or what? Roll rate is aimed to be 4.5 as much as normal Airbus. Hence, its handling is not wrong, it's just different. It's not built for comfort. Really? Huh. That's interesting. Very interesting, I have to say. Obviously, this is a default airport, not one of the handcrafted airports. Wings are more stable and more nimble. I mean, maybe, but it's just the way it flies just doesn't sound right. I mean, I'm no expert, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. Let's bring the aircraft to a stop here. By the trees. Yeah. All right. And let's set the parking brake. Parking brake is set. Let's go and start the APU. And let's see here. We can turn off the weather system. Transponder off. And we'll just wait for the APU. Actually, we can go to feather. And here are the nice sounds. Brakes are hot. So we want to bring in the chocks just as soon as possible and release the parking brakes. Let's see here. Where is the APU? Oh, maybe it's already there. All right, so APU bleed is on. And let's kill the engines. All right, beacon upper. Strobes are off. Nav lights are off. All these lights are off. And let's bring up the external power and chocks. So we're going to come to the ground here. Toggle GPU. Toggle the chocks. And now we can release the parking brake. And let it cool off. Excellent. We'll turn on the external power. And we'll turn off the APU bleed. And now the aircraft back on external power. Okay. So what we can do now is come over here to... Let me see if I can get this. All right, here we go. We're going to turn on the blue electrical pump for ground hydraulics. And with that turned on, we'll be able to come and open the main cargo. So let's do that. There you go. You see the main cargo now opening. And the aircraft and crew. The cargo is ready to be unloaded and the crew can now leave the aircraft. And that concludes our flight today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It's totally different handling, feeling when a civilian Airbus, but that's not wrong, just different. FS Flight Productions. Well, thank you for that. I will look into it a little more. I just didn't feel like the flight model was consistent with an aircraft of, you know, this size and weight. But we'll see. I'll definitely dig more into it. I want to thank you very much, guys, for being with me this evening. I hope that you've enjoyed this flight as much as I enjoy streaming it for you. And until I see you again, please take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye for now.